Tal Isaac, Fly, Kvalsaba, Israel.
Kanbekas, Hani, Düsseldorf, Germany.
Johan Sundstein, Notel, Copenhagen, Denmark.
Kalle Saarinen, Trixie, Helsinki, Finland.
So then Fnatic have to do another game today, and it's going to be a best of one. Are they able to take down LGD International? Well, they've had a pretty good prelims. Not so great main event thus far, but they've had some tough opponents to start with. Tongfu, that was a tough game. LGD International, where do their advantages lie, Fnatic?
Okay, everyone's looking at me, so I'm going to say something. Yeah. It's like I'm the only one prepared. So let's go immediately to LGD International and see what I can create on them. So LGD International is right here. And they really don't have particularly many advantages because they ended up 5-9 in the group stage. So nothing particularly great. But their Razor and BSH have been very, very decent. They're 4-2 and 3-2 with them, which is not saying much, but given that they lost 9 matches with that, we probably want to see something of them around those picks and creating something. Because I'm looking at 0-3 Nature's Prophet, 0-4 versus Nag. Everything else is like very, very
they probably won't go with that.
No, they shouldn't go with that.
The big player for me on LGD is Brax. Brax has just been playing a phenomenal offlane. I saw his Magnus in the prelims, his Bat Rider. We saw his Clockwork today, and he has just been dominating. And I wouldn't actually say like carrying, but he's just been putting so much pressure on other team that is very difficult for them to recover. So I think he's a player to watch for LGD.
Yeah, and also I have to say with Fnatic, Trixie's been doing great overall, but also Hani has been pretty solid throughout the event, and we can actually go and check out his difference in performances. We can see his prelims, where Fnatic, of course, did pretty successfully, and also I believe we have, this is his prelim performance. So Bruno, take us through this.
Okay, so as I said before, we don't see much of great heroes at the beginning. We see Dragon Knight very even, and this is kind of a thing of the tournament. Dragon Knight has not been a great pick. It's a safe pick. It gets you there, it gets you to the mid lane, doesn't dominate. Our Devourer, I want to say, this is kind of like one of the disappointments of the tournament. This hero only has 34% win rate, and this is a really strong mid hero that everyone plays. We see here these guys 2-2, not doing too great, but we do hope to see some of the Timbers or maybe the Viper that they showed us before.
But are they going to pick a hero they just lost with? That's what I'm thinking they might not want to do.
I mean, when you lose, you just have to have this mentality of let's try again. This is different game, different opponent. What doesn't work with some guys sometimes work with some others. And to be honest, I think Fnatic has to go. Oh yeah, well, didn't they just? Oh, that was the prelim, right?
Yeah, the prelims were the ones.
They won with the prelim. I was like, oh yeah, they just played Viper and they won. Yeah. So yeah, they lost. But again, as I said before, it's a different opponent. It's a different match. You just go with it, and if you think that's what's best against the heroes they have, just go for it.
Yeah, and I think both teams are looking to get ready on stage, so we're going to throw it in just a moment, so we have time just to get predictions on the match. We'll start with you, Ben.
I'll say LGD Int.
All right.
You were saying LGD Int as well, right, James?
I haven't said anything.
I think you did.
I'm not confident about it, though.
I'm going to go with Fnatic.
Okay.
Okay.
Any reason why?
I have a lot of confidence in them, and that they want to rise back up and win the entire thing.
The whole thing. Okay, Bruno.
The whole shebang.
I'm on Team Milk. I'm going to say Fnatic as well. Not because I have confidence in them, but they have confidence on themselves. I had breakfast with them today, and they were sure that they were going to pull the whole day and just get into the next round.
Breakfast does that to you, though. After you have breakfast, you just feel great.
You have to see how much Tal eats. I mean, he's a really big guy. He's really strong.
And there was a lot of bacon.
There was a lot of bacon, wasn't it? Yeah, you saw that as well.
Yeah, I took 16 pieces and a bottle of ketchup, and I just went to town. I had nothing else but bacon.
Yep.
Bacon.
It was really good bacon.
It was perfect.
Very American.
Bacon.
They're telling me to cut this segment off as quickly as possible, by the way, which I'll make it very slowly now. So, yeah, we'll see who's going to come out on top. It's going to be Fnatic versus LGD International. A best of one. It's going to be our last official match today. Unfortunately, the loser will be out of the International, but the winner will move on to play in a later time, I think 2 days' time. But either way, let's send it to the hall for the match. Best of luck to both teams.
LGD Gaming International versus Fnatic.
LGD International's turn to ban. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the final official match of the International 2 day number. Did I say 2?
Fnatic.
You said 2, and it's not the end of the tournament.
I said day 1. See, I'm just all right.
Even if the All-Stars match.
Let's redo this one, all right?
That was a swing and a miss.
All right,
let's go.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to day 1 and the last match of the International 3 between Fnatic and LGD Gaming International. We saw both these teams earlier, and both of them play spectacularly. Obviously, the guy that's messing up the intro, I am Luminous Inverse, and the guy who's not messing up the intro, he's LD Dota.
Hey.
Take us through this draft because we are missing a little bit so far.
The draft started pretty quickly. Fnatic, they've been going a lot to the first pick, Lifestealer. We've seen that consistently. Era is an absolute monster on the hero, but this game, they did something different. They banned out the Chen for LGDN, which I really like. That's That's not surprising. That's just respecting them. But what's interesting is they first pick Visage, and LGDN, they know Fnatic like to play Lifestealer, but they don't choose to pick it up themselves, which we've seen them run it before for PyCat. We've seen G even take it mid for some of those 1v1 melee matchups, but instead, they go Gyrocopter and they go Naga. The Gyrocopter slow does go through Rage, so it can slow you there, and they've got the net to kite him a bit. But
LGD
to give Era his Lifestealer, you better know what you're doing.
I'm also questioning whether LG Gaming is being taken away from their comfort zone. Chen being one of the go-to heroes, I talked about that's kind of their best heroes in my opinion. And now they're not really going with the push heavy strat. Gyrocopter and Naga Siren can push, but this is not your Dragonite. This is not, for example, Enchantress or Lone Druid. So, in fact, we don't really see a real pusher right now. You see Puck, which is arguably a counter pusher in a sense.
Yeah, LGDN have some great split push here, plenty of AoE, but where you could be concerned is if we see some sort of great initiator. I like what they've done a lot, though, because they've also denied Hani here without wasting a ban. Instead of banning his Puck, they ban out his Storm and they pick his Puck. So sure, you've got a Lifestealer, but who's he going to run with? I think Nature's Prophet would be your natural go-to hero for Fnatic. A good mobile split pusher. The Rat Dota that the overlay talked about is a possibility.
Although our analyst said they were like 0-3 with Nature's Prophet.
I mean, it fits their kind of style, but the one issue is that Prophet's not a great combat hero unless you've got a team that can fight while he farms, and unless he can select his fights. And against Puck, you can get caught split pushing very easily. A lot of these heroes can 1v1 against a Prophet. The Puck can, the Gyro can. So I don't know if they'll turn to it. But if they don't, then the question becomes, what is Hani going to play? Because I feel like he's just so much better when he's got a Storm, a Puck, a mobile, intelligent semi-carry who can be all around the map, setting up kills. There aren't too many, if any, left.
Let's not forget about Queen of Pain. He has stellar performance in the past. I think the Queen of Pain and Puck matchup is quite even. It depends on how much pooling you get. It depends really down to player skill. So I think, obviously you were talking about a vehicle for the Lifestealer to jump in and initiate. So I think Queen of Pain is really good. At the same time, Naga and Snare is a great weapon against you. The Puck Raining Rift is a great weapon against you. So you're not getting a free lane in a sense. So we'll see if they want to turn back to that. But it's like you said, there's not much Hani heroes left, if you call it that. Of course, Hani's not tied down to the mid lane. He's not married to it. If there's some off-lane Earthshaker by Hani, I'm down for that as well.
There's just a piece of me that will be sad if we don't see a Meepo. I don't care if Fnatic wins or loses. I will be either way.
You don't care if Fnatic wins or loses.
I care about this match. I'm just saying, if there's no Meepo, the result is secondary to me. I need Meepo. No-tail Meepo. Micro skills, please.
Fanatics.
That's like Meepo-esque.
You know, it doesn't fit this game at all. There's so much lockdown. There's great.
Meepo would be a horrible pick.
There's great laning for LGD, and if you want to go Meepo, you've got to be able to protect your safe lane. Normally, if your opponents are going to just not contest, but I think they're going to contest with you.
So let's talk about Era for a bit. In my opinion, he's one of the, if not the best, Lifestealer player in Europe. Do you go on Fnatic trialing against him and say, Lifestealer, sure, great hero. If you don't have enough farm, you're not going to do anything. Or do you think Jakiro, Gyrocopter, too low of a range, you kind of go offensive?
I don't think you have to, but if you want to, you definitely can. Because you have Naga, so you've got a net. You can lock him in position even when he rages. You also have the Rocket Barrage, which, even though Lifestealer has rage, makes a magic immune early on, and Rocket Barrage is magical damage. It doesn't last that long at the early levels. And nowadays, Lifestealers generally want to get more points in open wounds. Lifestealer is still a bit weaker in the laning stage compared to his old version, where you could just leave open wounds at 1 and max rage first. But I don't think they have to. They have a good lineup to farm the neutrals. They've got supports that really scale well with levels and the Naga and the Jakiro. So Fnatic, I mean for LGD, their options are wide open here. It's more what they're comfortable with, and to me, what they're generally comfortable with is early aggression.
Okay. Let's go back to Hani. You asked what hero is he playing. I think it could be the Dragonite, a very stable and safe solo mid. I think the record in the group stage, according to our analyst desk and of course all the great people in the production, 3-2, which is it's okay.
That combo's pretty cute, though. When Dragon Knight gets a Shadow Blade in the mid-game, you have the Infest Bombs, and he becomes a vehicle, but the problem is he's not like an early to mid-game vehicle, right? And I mean, that's where when you run a Lifestealer, you'd love to be strongest in that mid-game.
Yes.
Then again, we've also seen Fnatic, compared to other teams, I think they're more content to farm their Lifestealer and take it a little bit later.
Yeah, he loves his, was it Treads, Phase Drums, Armlet, SNY. He moves through the battlefild like a race car.
And these are all mid-game items. If you want to take your Lifestealer late game, you'll often see the Treads, the Abyssal Blade, maybe you skip the Sanjiasha or the Drums, but Era goes for a lot of the mid-game items, but he'll wait towards the end of the mid-game sometimes to fight. So we'll see where they go. If you're LGD it now, you've got massive AoE. You've got pretty good laning so far. Looks like they need a solo. Who do you think they're going to go for?
LGD International.
I mean, it seems like we have our tri-lane here.
I mean, Clockwork sounds pretty good, as we saw Brax kind of, go to work. Although, with that said, Clockwork doesn't do much against the Lifestealer anymore since Cogs.
Is there any way they can squeeze a Magnus into this lineup?
Yeah, he's a great mag.
Because Brax had a magnificent Magnus in the group stage. What did he go? It was like 7-0-8. Okay.
Offensive tri-lane, Templar Assassin mid and Puck top, I'm guessing. And Templar Assassin is G's one of his go-to hero. This is going to be exciting.
And there was actually a point in the G League Season 2 where every Chinese team that played LGD...
They had to ban TA.
They banned it in the first stage, which TA was not a first stage ban against anyone else. But G just intimidated... I guess he's beating them too much in scrims. They felt compelled to do it. But we haven't seen it much from LGD lately. It's a blast from the past, if you will.
Yeah, it's a blast from the past, and it's going to be very, very effective this game. Dragon Knight, Lifestealer, two very tanky strength hero that oftentimes rely on their high armor to kind of survive. Templar Assassin says, I'll shred those apart. I'll kind of combo well with Naga Siren. This is something that we noticed throughout TI3 is that a lot of teams just jam that Naga into any lineup, and sometimes it doesn't work. But if you could take advantage of the Riptide minus armor and combine it with, let's say, another minus armor spell like the Meld, it'll work kind of good. I actually really like LG Gaming's int draft, despite the fact that they have not gone double roam, despite the fact that they've not gone full push. I'm kind of worried, but at the same time, this is something new, and perhaps Fnatic has not been prepared for this.
My big concern for Fnatic is they don't have the best split push, and they don't have the best team fight. So if you have neither, and the enemy team can force fights against you because you can't split push that fast, and you can't necessarily win those fights, like you look at this lineup, Visage mostly single target, aside from his familiar stuns. Bane entirely single target, Lifestealer pretty much entirely single target, and Dragon Knight, until he gets a lot of farm, is pretty much a single target hero. And LGD are great at ganking, great at team fighting. I think they can win all these lanes, so I like this a lot, because they need something to just blow the game open. They'll go for a last pick Bounty Hunter, and if you haven't seen Trixie play this before, you could be in for a big treat.
Yeah, Trixie's Bounty Hunter, they just go full aggression. And you were asking again earlier, what is the vehicle? What's the early game vehicle for the Lifestealer? That's Trixie. I mean, here's something I've seen from Rattlesnake, from Tongfu. What they really like to do a lot is walk that support or whoever that vehicle for the Lifestealer is into the lane that Lifestealer is in.
Yeah.
Get the infest, TP to a different lane, which you already completely don't expect. Then he wind walks or skeleton walk right up to your support, for example, and you get a free kill.
Yeah, it's a really potent combo. And the other thing is, it gives him more move speed, right? Track gives you move speed. Right. And when you're a Lifestealer and you're a Dragon Knight, you want to be able to chase.
His build generally put him at max movement speed in the first place, so...
At some point, so...
Now you get more move speed, I guess.
Until then, I'll be happy. Overall, looking at the draft, I think LGD have a lot more options here. They can gank, they can win the lanes, they can split push, they can take team fights. I do think Fnatic very gank heavy, but they've got a great ganky lineup. But they excel at one thing, LGD perhaps jacks of all trades. So with that being said, it's our final main stage match. There will be the All-Star match afterwards, but this one's the last one for the big event. LGD on the Dire side. They're making a run here in the lower bracket so far, and it will start with Brax, your Puck. Brax handling that. Pycat, the Gyrocopter. Misery, the support Naga Siren. G, he'll be on the Templar Assassin, rushing the bottle, heading towards mid. Last but not least, 1437 on the twin-headed dragon. And on the side of Team Fnatic, we've got Era on his favorite hero. He was born a Lifestealer. He'll die one. He's playing one today. Hani, the Dragon Knight for this squad. Trixie, the off-lane Bounty Hunter. That puts Fly onto your Visage and No Tail onto the Bane. So they're not giving the micro hero to the micro player.
I'm pretty sure all of them could micro decently well.
But No Tail is the most famous for his.
The first thing that kind of just popped into me as I watched this is, why does Brax have a Quelling Blade? Like, what is actually... Is he doing some, like, ancient next-level pulling? If you want to bring out Strat right now, this is...
So I believe if you eat like a bunch of trees here, you can kind of pull the Ancients and farm
is that what
right?
we're doing? Yeah, I think that's what he's doing.
We'll have to wait and see. Let's keep an eye on Brax now. He starts to eat the trees pretty early on. He's got to clear out a path so the creeps follow more directly. And you can definitely do this. It's more common on the Dire side. We've seen, or the Radiant side, we've seen Navi do it a lot. You just eat these 3 trees and you farm over here. The creeps come to hit you. In Dota 1 it didn't work, but in Dota 2 it does. So we'll keep an eye on him, but overall, what do you think about the other lanes? How do these look for each team?
Well, I'm a little bit worried for them up top here. As you can see, Trixie is beginning this game what they pull. It's very, very hard for them to stop it. 1437 has dual breath, and they do have ensnare. But for Trixie, you could easily kind of see it coming and dodge with it. He's going to pull all the way back, probably to his tier 2 tower, although Nox Siren is making the cutoff.
Oh, and look at this. Body blocks the camp
Nicely
as well.
done.
Just additional economic damage, denying them a creep spawn, which could be, if you look at LGDN, their supports have massive AoE. They're really good at killing off stack camps, but they won't be able to stack that one, at least not as quickly. Also, I do want to point out he started with boots, and this is becoming more and more common whenever you pick Bounty Hunter, because there was a stage where teams learned how to deal with this hero, which was get sentries early, even start with dust, and just go kill him at level 1. But when you have boots on the Bounty Hunter, it becomes much more difficult to kill him early.
Yeah, poor man's is generally a de facto choice, but who cares if you can block damage when he can't even hit you, so that's kind of the idea behind it.
Look at this. What a quick reaction with the Sentry Ward there. Brax trying to be sneaky, but he's only going to get this one Ancient Camp early.
And to be honest, that Ancient Camp's going to tie him over for quite a bit, so
it could honestly take the duration of the Sentry Ward for him to kill.
Probably, like around, give or take
this
a bit.
thing has 2,000 HP and 8 armor, and Brax is hitting for 55. That's not going to happen quickly.
Well, let's actually look at the mid lane a little bit. Hani on his Dragon Knight versus G's Templar Assassin. We do see our Bane Elemental player, No-Tail.
Trixie, trapped in the jungle. He's got a Shadow Walk, though. There is some dust here. Dust also applies
They don't have Ice
slow,
Path. They're not going to find him. It's that Boots. He's too fast.
No, maybe not. Wrapping around this 1437. They've got the vision. Now Shadow Walk will head the other direction. Actually, if he went back in there, he would have given up.
He even thought about canceling Misery's clarity. He just want to get extra value on that win walk.
I mean, let's be honest, though. Even though he's not getting a whole lot out of this lane, he's denying 2 supports.
Yeah, he is.
He's running rings around them. And I also want to point out the additional effect that his Bounty Hunter's having, which is what we saw from Havost against Arn. You have to protect your courier. It's hiding in the trees. Early upgrade on it. Trixie's doing a lot despite getting nothing for himself.
Yeah, level 1 Janata would not get that kill, so no big deal. No-Tail TP's up top here, and look at this huge wave of creeps. That goes all to him if he doesn't get zoned out. That's nice experience. No-Tail started a game by putting a couple of peoples on the mid lane.
Look at Trixie. Now he's bottom and he's stopping the Ancients. This guy is everywhere.
I mean, Fnatic reminded me of that from Navi when they play against Team Dignitas. And early game, he just walked in and out of jungle and he didn't actually do anything. He was level 1 for like 4 minutes, but he was just so annoying. And if he steals one of these big Ancients,
the camp's blocked anyway, but he's just making sure this puck isn't here. And the thing for Brax is he's not level 2 yet. He's actually 1 point of experience away from it.
Can he steal something here?
And the reason it's really important for puck is then you get phase shift. And there's a lot of spells he can dodge.
One more hit. Brax.
No,
Brax.
He misses it. Oh, that actually hurts a lot. I don't know if he's going to get another. No, he'll get these creeps. Okay, now he's level 2.
He's okay. He's not going to die or anything. Meanwhile, we have this next level awkward counter ancient jungle is what we could call this. This is some next level meta.
Yeah, No-Tail now, maybe heading back to the top lane. They're going to cut him off, though. Misery, he's got a net.
Radiant's
the timing couldn't be worse for No-Tail. The net's here. It is daytime Ice Path follow-up. Do they have the burst, though? They don't have the 3rd hero. He sleeps 1, and he's on the run.
Nice takeoff here.
Juggled. Misery with a body block. Sick plays so far, but they need more, and they just don't have the burst to bring him down.
I think they just want to do a little bit of harass. If you really want to get a kill, you want to open with Riptide to apply the minus armor, so your right-click hurt a lot more. So they kind of just want to harass him away. Pycat also dove past the tower trying to join his teammate. Didn't get there in time.
Yeah, the unfortunate thing, though, is if now they want to go push top, LGD didn't know about, or rather Fnatic know about it. For the time being, Trixie is still level 1. He did a lot of economic damage early. He's rotated bottom. You have to find that right balance, right? Because we saw with Fnatic, he sacrificed himself early, but he caught up later on. It is very early, but keep an eye on Trixie, see if he can find a way to catch up. Because if not, Bounty Hunter isn't that useful in the mid game. He does need level 6.
Yep. Back to the mid lane, Hani doing rather well. He's actually keeping up in terms of CS against the Templar Assassin, who has insane damage over him. Now, thanks to No-Tail obviously dropping a couple in Feeble, but now that No-Tail's not in the lane, he's still hanging around, getting these denies. That's absolutely huge. You pick a Templar Assassin to dominate the lanes, and DK is hanging with them, so credit to Hani.
Yeah, when I started casting with Winter back in the G League Season 2, he talked so much about you pick the TA not just to dominate the lane, but to dominate melee solo mids, because TA can get in range, hit the side blades, and just blow you up. Unfortunately, though, he's not dominating this lane.
Talk about that later as Piecat trapped behind enemy lines. Here comes Fly. Do they have enough? Arrow made a TP as well. He got to get in range for that open wound face move, bring him up. No tell, body blocking his ally like a pro, but here comes Hani. Here comes the stun. They will have the open wounds, or will he? There you go. That's going to be a kill, but that's a 4-man rotation for his first blood. Somebody do the math for that one. I'm not sure whether that's worth it, but it sounds pretty good to me.
Yeah, keep in mind Arrow was getting complete free farm bottom lane, but they put Trixie in. And honestly, I think Trixie needs the levels more than Arrow needs the farm. So I actually like that a lot. First blood for them, and it's on the enemy Gyrocopter who's getting free farm of his own. The other thing it does is it deters any aggression. So this tier 1 stands top, and frankly, LGD and I think Fnatic are in much better shape because now Hani hits level 6.
Oh yeah.
And this Dragon's Breath just ruins your refraction. See it ticking away very quickly here. You're not going to have refraction against the Dragon Knight, and that's a problem. That's why you got to beat him before he hits level 6.
I also really like the Centaur out in the mid lane because a lot of Templar Assassin players like to put these traps on this mid. And so let's say if a gank comes, DK is going to be in a little bit of trouble.
How unfortunate. No Tails there. He scouts it out. He just wanted to stack the Ancients, but Misery flummoxed and frustrated again. This is just not going according to plan for LGD.
Era finds himself a haste rune in bot lane. That could get dangerous.
Well, fortunately for Brax, he's going back to base. He did continue farming the Ancients. It looks like he hasn't gotten to... Actually, no, it looks like he stopped farming them. So I just think Fnatic overall has just been anticipating and moving a bit better early on. They blocked the Ancient spawn early. The Bounty Hunter's getting levels. The Dragon Knight's level 6. He's gotten through the hardest part of the game for his lane. Fnatic are in a good position right now.
They are, and really I think when will the mid game happen is a question that Fnatic's asking for themselves, because you have good ganking coming out from your Trixie, from your Era Lifestealer, and of course Dragon Knight, who I think could actually go Shadow Blade first this game. There's decent amount of magical damage, so BKB is always a safer choice, but it depends on how he feels, whether he wants to play a lot more offensive for his team or you want to go for the safe and standard blade.
I think it is very much a Shadow Blade game, because you have track, and in order to make track kills happen, you want that additional move speed. You want to be able to just run heroes down, get off that initial stun. I think that's the way to go. And the other thing is that LGD and still have a Naga net anyway. They've got to call down slow anyway. BKB is just too passive for me for the kind of lineup that Fnatic has.
We'll see if Hani agrees with you. Meanwhile, NoTal's been making a ton of rotation without the map. Got a tower defense up top, was ganking in the mid lane, so he's all over the place. I'm kind of worried for him because you want him to get that level 6, and once you do get the level 6, a lot of these heroes, like Templar Assassin or Gyrocopter, for example, they got to be very careful.
You're very worried, Lumi.
I'm worried all the time.
You are.
I just want to make sure that everybody's playing well. Trixie coming in the mid lane here, perhaps trying to set up a kill. Dragon Knight ultimate form is up, so they could kind of make a go on G right now.
This will be a huge kill. Dragon form's online, but G backing up. He's got 2 traps here, and in they're going. No, they want
to burn some of the refraction. There you go, and now G in huge trouble. Here comes a defensive TP. Where's the trap slow? There goes one. The second one is necessary, and here comes Mel, but HP removal and a couple more hits gonna do it, but G's still alive. He doesn't have magic stick charges anymore, and he will survive. Another trap goes off. Tower focusing on NoTal. Another trap goes off, and now Trixie.
And now Misery, that support Naga's going in, 1v3. There's your Ice Path off the mark. Trixie dropping low. Boy, if that Ice Path hits, that is a much different fight.
I like how there's like 18 spells going off and nobody dies on that mid lane.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest though, that's great for LGD, because sure, they have to TP into defend that, but Brax is getting a little more now. Picat's not being pressured. And speaking of Picat, he's forcing this tower. It's in deny range, and they're going to back him off.
Nice glyph and TP. They will get a tower deny out of this one unless nobody's going to come in for it. Era's been making a ton of TP. Something LD brought up earlier is that he likes to farm for a lot of mid-game items, but he generally don't participate until kind of when the mid-game generally gets started.
Yeah, this is much more aggressive. I mean, most Lightstealer players are much more like this, but Era, like you said, he's normally more farm-oriented. They have track gold though, so if they get kills, I mean, it's not there yet, but it is coming soon. And at that point, you can just go farm heroes.
Yeah, and you got to make sure that Picat does not have a good start, because he's a player that you just simply can't ignore. Also, very interestingly, that Gyrocopter has been leveling up his Rocket Barrage. A lot of times we see Gyrocopter player has kind of opted for stats, so I think he understands that this game is going to be down to a lot of more like early game fighting, and having a max Rocket Barrage is going to be good. And obviously you're dealing with a ton of melee heroes, so that's always a good spell.
Look at the discipline from Fnatic though. They've continuously warded this Ancient stack. To be honest, the fact that there's only a single, like a stack and a half here is amazing. to me, because they've been all around the world with these supports. As long as they keep on doing that, it limits LGD's ability to flash farm and just kill off big creep camps in the mid game. But here we go, on to Fly, coiled up, dropping in a hurry, call down, off the mark. Fly puts on his Nikes and he's delivering the jukes, but it won't matter. Now the big team fight, traps in, nets on Hani. He's got the ultimate, will pop it quick, but he's bursted down fast. G going for the kill, can't get it yet. The familiar stuns in, he's low, he's alive. Now, not for long. Yes, he is. No, he's not. Can they get him? Finally. But the trade's in. Trixie gets a kill. No track yet. He's on the run too. LGD really diving for these kills. And now G driven back for the time being. Misery on the hunt. It's a turnaround. Fnatic are just absolutely surprising LGD, and they're not done yet.
They're going to try to get Era. Era's kind of low, but G trying to find the 1v4. He wants to bring Era down. Era says, no, I am too tanky. And Era joins yet another team fight. It looked really good for LGDN, but suddenly TPs after TPs, and you just have to kind of back out and ignore it. But I think the dive was a little bit too deep. But credit to that gyrocopter build. It did a ton of damage. Just right there. That
might have been a harbinger of things to come, because in the middle of that fight, Trixie hits level 6, and he's able to live because he throws out track and he just outruns the Naga Siren, then turns around and kills it. That was without his phase boots. That's without your Lifestealer having his, well, actually he's got the phase drum, so scratch that. But without the Shadow Blade, I mean, Fnatic is very mobile in these fights. So if you overextend, not only are you overextending against track gold, but here we go.
A little bit of trouble. They don't have core, I mean, they do, but you got to wait for that rage.
He's too fast. This is why that build's so good.
Race card. Yeah. He's gone. And you're making these 4 or 5-man TPs. Generally, if you have the standard LG in lineup, you know, you come in there, the gank fails, you can still push, but this lineup just doesn't push that well.
I mean, remember what you kept on bringing up in the draft is this isn't what we're used to seeing from LGD, and will that be a factor? We saw Dignitas going for the Timbersaw mid, as Merlini pointed out. They maybe weren't that comfortable with it. They hadn't had a chance to practice it much. Is that going to be the same story for LGD? And trailing 2-5. Gold is not that far off, but if Fnatic find a few more good fights, that's going to be a track gold, and they want to defend this tier 1 bottom. Tower's low. Eric goes for the deny, but G is going to outplay him and gets it. Now the track onto Pycat. He's in trouble. Throws out the call down. Dropping in a hurry, but still alive. Still fighting strong. Era waiting for his rage to cool down. While that's happening on the backside, G is driven low. Almost dead. Pycat still standing, but rage is up. And in comes Era again for round 2. He wants Misery. They want Pycat. Track kill number 1. Look for more. That's 3 dead, and Fnatic are cruising.
Tracking, they're still going. Brack's gonna get stunned. That's another track kill. Scores 9-2. I was very worried for Trixie early on because he wasn't getting too much experience, and you don't have track early, but my goodness. These track kills are on 4 or 5 heroes at the same time, and you're earning hundreds and 100 goals for each kill.
And when you get kills like that with track gold, the graph goes one direction, straight up. And here comes Fnatic. Not only will they take that fight, but with the dragon form, it's going to do poison damage. It does affect towers. This towers, there's a glyph. LGD, they've got no song. They're actually looking to defend.
Aggressive defense. Here comes Rage to dodge on Orb, and wow, Brax even jumping in. He doesn't have Dream Coil, so they weren't really going to get the kill, but they did get the defense, and I think they're going to get a deny out of it as well. So aggressive play, but it was rewarded.
But this, we talked a lot about tempo in our previous game, and this is Fnatic's tempo. I mean, especially with this draft. Sure, we're used to seeing them split push. They, you know, VP infamously called it Rat Dota, but we're seeing them, well, they're playing a ganking lineup and they're ganking. It's crazy chaotic team fights. They're jumping on air, but they just can't kill the man. There's just no way to get him.
Yeah, between track and phase and drums, we saw what Era did in that last team fight. Is he ran in and out, bait out Rocket Barrage out of Pycat, and just basically slowly chase him down with right clicks. And there's really nothing Pycat can do until he gets a BKB. Even that.
They call Pycat here. Are they going to go in?
Well, here comes Era. Era says, man, I don't really care. I can kill all of you guys.
Look at Era. As soon as LGDN splits up, he charges in 1v5. That's how good he is at the Lifestealer, and that's how good this damn hero is in these situations.
Yeah, what strikes me about Era on his Lifestealer plays, he understands very much so what he could get away with. Lifestealer is one of those heroes between Rage, Phase, Drums Activation, Infest. You have a lot of ways to get out of sticky situations, and that's why on the Fantasy League, he doesn't get a lot of minus points for dying, because he doesn't really die much on this hero.
If you're LGD, I mean, look right now. They're trying to stack the agents, but again, they've been denied. They're just getting completely cornered in here, not able to abuse or take advantage of flat cannon, which is just fantastic for farming agents. And they need some items now, Lumi. G needs to pick up his drums, work maybe towards a BKB or Manta style, some additional items for him. Hell, Misery needs arcane boots. And you look at Pycat, needs a BKB. these Ancients are a massive source of gold for a team with Templar Assassin, especially with Gyro. And Fnatic have just done such a good job at keeping an eye on the bigger picture, not getting too caught up in the ganks, and not letting those Ancients get stacked.
It's not just a carry that needs farm. I mean, LG in supports are very used to playing with a lot of early game goal. Earlier in the cast, we joked about wanting to play on this team as supports because they are just so rich. This game, Boots, Magic Stick, there's nothing on the supports, and to be honest, they won't get much because these towers are just not going to fall on Fnatic's side.
Meanwhile,
LG in.
Trixie going for a solo kill. He's diving deep. Can he get it? Oh, he needed one more.
Rocket Barrage was turned on Pycat and
needed one more Janata crit, but not finding a kill is totally worth it because you're forced. Look at how many LGD heroes. You see a swarm of like 4 heroes in this region, all trying to stop a bounty hunter, who's your offlaner anyway, isn't the most important hero, and guess who's farming? Era's farming, all in the jungle, the Dragon Knight's farming. Fnatic, this is where your offlaner is just making huge plays. It's like Ice 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 for Zenith. If he doesn't die, he's just putting so much pressure and wasting the support's time.
And Trixie's definitely not dying. Honey, speaking of which, is going to be going for a BKB. So we talked about the difference between Shadowblade as well as BKB, what it does for a team fight as well as for ganks. He's going to take that safer approach, which, I mean, against a Pug, against a Naga Siren as well as a Jakiro, not the worst choice, I guess.
I mean, in theory, the other way to look at it is, like, yeah, they have this, but with this kind of, normally they have this ganking lineup, you'd say, like, you want him to be as mobile as possible, able to initiate, but when you have a lifestealer who's this big, he can do all the damage.
Yeah,
so what you really need DK for is just chain stunning heroes, spamming the Dragon Tail. It's got a very low cooldown and a long duration. So BKB isn't, I mean, it's a safe choice. You can't really argue with it.
I mean, at the same time, if you know your Dragon Knight's going to survive throughout the team fight, you're dropping Beastmaster Roars every 8 seconds with that Dragon Tail. It's such a long range. It's an instant stun. And if Puck gets stunned like that, for example, he's dead. And speaking of Puck, he's going to be going for a Blink Dagger before his finishing his stretch, which I think is an excellent choice. You are quite down right now. You need to win some team fights. You need to go for some pickoff. And having the ability to blink on Era and then silence him to open up a team fight.
Brax!
No, he's done.
No,
look at how quickly he dies to Era, though.
Yeah,
it's like 3 hits.
I don't know if he's going to be able to farm that Blink. That's such a big kill. Because Blink Dagger on Puck, I mean, against BKB heroes won't do much for you, but you look at something like the lifesteal, if he can't pop Rage, he's killable.
Right.
And the silence does prevent you from raging, but this is an offlane Puck. I mean, generally it's a hero that we don't see in the offlane unless it's a 1v1, and we're seeing some of the reasons why. If he gets shut down early, he's a hero that needs the farm and the items. He's a snowball hero. You want the levels too. And Brax, he's done a nice job considering, but I think he's becoming a liability for his team now.
Speaking of snowball, also you picked Temper Assassin to snowball out of control, and to be honest, I felt like he's kind of dealt with. Like, tracks are on him all the time. He never really goes to do what he wants. He is going for a very stats-heavy power treads and drums build. Personally, I think it's a very good build if you just want to survive, if you always want to be a big impact.
Too far out. Here we go. Tracks deployed. He's got refraction cooling down. They're not.
Oh, no Tail's gaining on him. Can he get off the grip? No, just
2 stuns. In they go. What a fight. Not enough.
He's still got Meld.
Who am I kidding? Who needs No Tail? You've got Fly, man.
I'm telling you, everybody can micro.
They can. That was impressive. Perfect chain stun, but unfortunately there was refraction up. G doesn't die.
Yeah. Well, here comes Trixie again. I mean, if it doesn't work, that's fine, because he knows that he doesn't really need to dish out all the damage. All he has to do is throw out Tracks. Oh, here comes Era. Look at him. Ninja out of trees, and Era just right-click. 1437. He's dead. That's 1 track kill. They're looking for a little bit more, and Era's just doing so much damage. He might be a little bit of trouble. Does have Infest up, but worry about his HP right now. Still Infest. Nice Infest back out. G's also there. Here comes Pycat doing a ton of damage. Honey's low. Doesn't have the BKB yet. Infest back on Era. He's going to get 1 more kill. Man fight coming out against Pycat. Is Pycat going to go down? Era, just simply don't die unless you're dying to the range tree because he's OP.
Yeah, the heroes can't kill him. The range
creep will.
Yeah, that's a team wipe though, and that's a team wipe with at least 1 or 2 track kills. And you gotta say, I mean, that's the power of Lifestealer. Drops low, infest inside a teammate, and he saw the Dragon Knight was gonna die, and he said, you know what, I might go down, but I'm just gonna pop out now and surprise them. And LGD weren't ready for that. They'll TP in. The tier 1 mid still stands. Here's your song, but where's the backup? There's
the backup.
Here.
It's a slow one, but it'll come.
I think it's too late. Ice Pat's coming in, maybe not. Clips Fly, hits No Tail as well. The turnaround comes, but a defensive sleep. No Tail looking for a deny. Not gonna happen. Fly on the way out. He'll TP away. That's a song for a single kill, and for LGDN, it's not a track kill.
I mean, they just need those kills. It's a very heavy investment from your spells, but at the same time, they just need some gold. They need some experience. G needs to somehow still snowball, and I'm not sure whether he could do it. Back in the back lines, look at Trixie. It's like, yeah, I got 5 pushing my towers, but I'm also here. You know, I'm going to just track up the entire team. He gets netted. Oh, he's dead, right? I think so.
There. He's in trouble, dropping low. But that base armor, 12, he's on the run. Here comes Mr. Era. Say hello to my armlet. Say hello to my phase and my drums. In they go. Macro Pyre deployed. Great strategic position for LGD. You do not want to fight in that choke. Not while you're burning. Never mind. They do. Who cares?
The fire's out.
These
Let's
guys,
go.
They can walk on fire, man. That's pretty scary.
Dire's middle tower
is destroyed in the mid lane here, and that's what they really want. I think they're going to go for tier 2. Everybody's backing off. Spells are on cooldown for a bit for now.
There's a tastier target. It's a tier 1 top and a Pycat kill.
Go for the kill when he doesn't have the BKB, because it gets a little bit harder once he does. I think he doesn't have a teleport.
Straight to the side shot, but look who might be ready. Oh, no Shuriken toss. He's could toggle his treads. Maybe not enough.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely have sight on him, but they're going to get a tier 1 tower out of this. And what is LGD Int getting right now? They're just farming the enemy jungle. They don't have enough push. They don't have enough gold. And they definitely don't have enough experience. And just going back to Area, I mean, 8-1 and 4 is the score so far. This guy knows the limit of his hero, knows when to dive, and know when to not die. Just really, really good play so far.
Yeah, I just like the general adjustment of we have Bounty Hunter, so I'm not going to farm, I'm going to fight. Yeah. That's been working out beautifully for them. If you're LGD now, you're pretty far behind. 16-5. It's getting close to 10k gold. Fnatic, maybe not the best team fight, but they have 3 heroes that scale pretty damn hard with farm. What is LGD going to be able to do to come back? Is this gank bottom going to be the answer?
Well, it's going to be a good way to start. There's no BKB. You prevent it. Hani's going to get blown up. And you got to get these quick kills before the ally comes in. That's very important. If team fight gets drawn out a little bit too long, you're dealing with the lifestealer. You're dealing with tracks.
There's a Vlad's on Trixie. That is such a big item for these mid-game team fights. They have 3 melee heroes, potentially with the Dragon Knight. That's a lot of additional damage, and the lifesteal could make a big difference.
I mean, we saw what 12 armor did earlier, right? Now we're dealing with 16. Of course, you're dealing against with the minus armor strategy of Naga Siren Riptide and Melt Strike, so it is a very key item pickup. I even like it over BKB, which is predominantly kind of a first item of Bounty Hunter.
Yeah, like you mentioned, it's not a minus armor strat, but a lineup that really relies on minus armor to do a lot of its damage, and it's denied. You know, the other problem for me with LGDN is who actually starts these fights. They just don't have a great initiator without the TA having a lot of farm or the Puck having a blink.
It was supposed to be Puck. I mean, that kill in the bot lane prevented him to get the blink dagger. He still doesn't have it right now. He's going to basically nuke these creeps and try to get it. But yeah, without having that blink, there is just no one that starts a fight. Brax generally does it very well on his, for example, Clockwork or Magnus with the RPs. You just haven't found it. There you go, finally. And they need to start with some pickoffs.
Let's see how much it comes into play here. There are some key heroes to silence. The Bane is absolutely essential. Can cancel his grip, can just burst him before he even gets off a Brain Sap, doesn't heal up that extra HP.
I mean, to be honest, if you find Era and Blink silence him, no rage, just go for the kill. I think that's a great way to start, but at this point, look at how tanky he is. He's going to have the SNY finish very soon. And when you have the armlet turned on, you're dealing with like 1,800 HP, a ton of armor, and I just don't think that he can even get the kill on him.
And remember that he has the lifesteal on. He can still auto-attack depending on if he's just netted up or something. So if they're too close to him, he's got Vlads and Feast. He may not even drop. Here we go. LGDN defending their tier 2 mid. Wrapping around is none other than Trixie, looking for a
He's always wrapping around.
Yeah. He's never heard of the front door, Lumi. I don't think his house has one. Here we go, Blake, silence initiation. Now Era, still low, but not dead yet. He's got it infest. He'll pop in. Hani, get me out of here. He pops out into a song. There's no rage just yet. Can they stun him properly? Not yet. He gets off the rage, runs for the hills. Brax low, tracked up, not dead yet. Misery 2. They get 1, they get 2. Fnatic overrunning LGD, and that was the fresh shiny Blink Dagger. Just not enough.
Going back to what something Melk said during the analyst table, when you're using Song and you're not actually setting up a vacuum or a black hole, it just doesn't do anything. In fact, Hani waited up in the high ground, bottled up. It's like, oh yeah, let's go back and refight. And of course, Era would have popped his rage instantly, dodged the ice path, and just went back to work. Here comes the SNY delivered during the middle of that fight. Tier 2 is going to go down because there's no way in hell that you're going to defend without call down, without Song Siren. And Fnatic takes yet another team fight.
It's like you said, they just can't burst him during the silence. And if you can't, then Era just infests or he rages and fights. And either way, LGD are in trouble. The tier 2 mid's falling. Now Fnatic with pretty good map control. They have some nice wards up. I would like to see a gem at this point in the game. Lifestealer can definitely carry it, or maybe a Dragon Knight. But for now, they've got decent wards, and they'll go Roche. Trixie scouting things out. There's no secret way in, and Brax has already been scouted. He might be a solo kill for Trixie. No, dodging the ice pad, dust deployed on the run. Trap number 1. The team wants to fight. Screw the Roche. Let's go, they say. In comes Era. I'll lead the way, boys. At 14:37 on the run. G trying to duke it out, but there's a BKB on Hani. Taking away the refraction. Fighting it out. Misery now stunned. Diving the base is Trixie. He's our Era looking for a solo kill. He'll find it. Now G. That's 5, and that might be GG. Fnatic are just beating down LGD.
I mean, they don't even need the Roche route now. They're just going to the high ground and start working on that base. Era just runs through the entire team. He was chasing a BKB Gyro up the tier 3 tower with like 4 guys shooting at him. He just doesn't care. He's going to invest and get all the HP back. And here comes the push. No, they want to go for the safe victory. They want to get the Roshan.
Middle tower is under attack.
I don't think it's a bad choice either.
Yeah, why not? This is an elimination game. If you win this, you're in the money. Don't mess around. Take the Roche, play it safe. Fully approve of what Fnatic's doing. And now Roche dropping fast. They'll heal up from this as well. If they want to go straight down mid, can LGD actually stop them? That's my question.
I mean, Song's coming back in like 30, 40 seconds, so it can be a little bit dangerous. They could reset, kind of farm to your next item. Era, he's very close to that Basher. And if you think that BKB is going to protect Gyro, it's not going to protect him for long. Hani is going to go for a Heaven's Halberd. I really think it should be a Shadow Blade, but...
Are we going to see 2 Sanjin Yashas instead?
Actually... forget Heaven's Halberd.
Remember, Fnatic loves this item. It's entirely
Fnatic
possible.
loves a lot of items, like Boots of Travel, which I'm surprised there's not one this game.
Yeah, I think Boots of Travel is not a good item to get in the Dragon Knight early. Maybe if you have if you get like a bunch of kills, get your Shadow Blade, then go for it. But
look, you must have not got the Merlini speech of saving 135 gold for activation.
Gotta get that value, Lumi.
You gotta get that value.
Gotta get it. Here we go. LGD. They're trying to trade, but they can't even take a tier 1, and immediately...
Oh, Trax.
Who's there? It's Trixie once again into G. There's a DD up from Pycat, but I don't know if Trixie even cares about this.
Running with the DD, with the Gyro.
Yeah, if your 1 position carry picks up a DD and your team's reaction is to run, you know you're in trouble.
Well, not much they could do about it. For those who guys are wondering, why can't he pop the BKB and fight? BKB will remove that double damage, so...
And it also doesn't deal with just the physical damage coming out from Fnatic.
Yeah. Speaking of physical damage, there's just a ton. Era, does he have his Basher yet? Is it being delivered? Yes, it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is trouble. And it is actually a Heaven's Halberd.
Yeah.
Hani's evolving.
Hani's so defensive.
He is. Except when he gets Boots of Travel and goes full offense. Well, so he's not really defensive at all.
He's defensively on the offense because he's always stunning everybody.
You just said nothing in a lot of words. Here comes LGD.
That's what I do all the time, right?
Into the individual. That's what we're paid for, right? Here comes G, leading the way. The familiar scouting things out. He's such a pest. I mean, honestly, this is obscene. Trixie, they're constantly painting him. They're all, it looks like they're frustrated by these paints. They finally track him down. They might even get Trixie, but while this is happening, Fnatic's farming everywhere else.
That's a very important kill. Even though they spent 5 people to make that happen, like you just can't walk around with your supports in the jungle if Trixie is around. Trixie will solo kill your supports at this point. And I mean, I don't think we need to count LG out yet. If you look at the goal graph, experience graph, it's just like completely, it feels like out of reach. But there's a gyrocopter, and these guys are not tapping out yet.
I think the big thing is that they just have massive team fight. If they get like a perfect initiation, the thing is, though, they just can't go on Hani because he's got a BKB. Era's got an Aegis. So you somehow have to find your way out of these backline supports. And when Fly's sitting this far back, it's almost impossible.
Well, LGD's trying their best to use their AoE, use a long-range spell to make that defense. Era just in the front line. He's hitting it once in a while. He'll back off. He still has the Aegis, so Era's going to be a very poor choice to focus. It's like you said, you can't focus on Era. You can't focus on Hani, but they're also dealing a ton of damage, so who can you focus?
There is a glyph, there is a Song of the Siren here, and the fact that LGD are standing at their tier 2 means they clearly want to fight. Remember, they still have an
Trixie's coming back. Trixie's about to get there to fight.
You killed one pest, but here comes another.
I mean, I think short team fights really favor Fnatic in the sense that they can just kill somebody really quick. But long team fights also favors Fnatic because your entire team's tracked up, so you got to find that perfect amount.
Every fight favors Fnatic. They've got the massive item advantage. They've got the level advantage. They're the ones with the snowball lineup that's snowballing hard, and G and the rest of LGD still working towards their very basic items. He still needs this BKB, and even then, there's just so much chasing power, so much physical damage. I feel like LGD need too many things. I'd say they need Mass Ghost Scepters as well to deal with all this physical damage, but you've got to get your BKB up first on your TA. You've got to get the basics out. And Fnatic, maybe we'll see them wait for Roche at number 2, but beyond that, I think waiting, they could still win, but just unnecessary. You'll probably never get stronger relative to LGD than now, unless you've already won the game.
Yeah, I mean, I like what LG is doing. They just don't want to take fights because they know they can't win them. to me, this game is a true testament of how well LGD could make comebacks, because you got to keep in mind the normal playstyle is push, fast, and hard, and they're always leading in terms of the gold chart. They're down and down severely. Can they just swap to basically a completely different playstyle? Maybe play like Team Dignitas. Just defend, just turtle, go for pickoff when you can with your puck blink.
They need to go full LGD China now. They've played so much against those guys, and LGD China, masters of losing the early game, winning the game anyway. Lose all the lanes, win the game. That's pretty much their motto, but LGD has not shown that kind of style in the past. They're much better offensively, but to get back in the game, they need to farm. They can't just sit at their base and expect to win. Fnatic is farming everywhere.
It's hard to farm. You don't know where the Trixie is. He's always wrapping around, as we said.
I just have to go back to the way this game developed and highlight once again, they did so much to shut down everything. We had Trixie shutting down the supports in the jungle, wasting their time. They shut down the puck. The only hero who had an easier time was G, and even then, he didn't win his lane that hard. Here we go, Lumi. Once more onto the break. Fnatic onto the high ground. Track onto G. Enfeeble's there. Now with Net on Era. Still standing strong. Remember, he's got Aegis and 3.4k gold. Glyph's now down. LGD in. Seems like they don't want to go in, but they don't have a choice if they give up this Rax. Good luck coming back. Missile flies forth. Era, no bother with Rage. He'll just tank it. Cloudouts there. Blake as well. Not that good from Brax, and the BKBs come out. Now they disengage, but the BKB from Hadi butchering Brax. Phase shift dodges it, but to what end? They have done no damage. Now their song's down. LGDN are so screwed, and Fnatic are going to move on here.
Yeah, Fnatic will take the Rax, and if there's no GG, they'll keep going for other lanes of Raxes. We do have Brax still alive. BKB is, or not Brax, Pycat, but I mean, his BKB doesn't even protect him anymore. Fnatic will back off very safely. They're not here to make, flashy plays. They're here to win games, and they're definitely doing that right now.
Oh boy, are they ever winning this game. More tracks from Trixie, up to 4.2k gold. Abyssal Blade for the Lifestealer. Oh, he's got a haste. He's going in. Say hello to my Abyssal Blade. Onto Pycat. Smash and bash. Bring him down fast. Pycat's low. Pycat's dead. G as well. 2 more fall. And GG from LGD, and Fnatic are guaranteed a top 8 finish at the International 3.
Fnatic thought they could beat Tongfu. Didn't happen that way, but was able to just, I want to say, clean through the loser bracket.
Yeah, they cleaned house in this match, as well they should. Based on what we saw in the group stage, the only team to 2-0 Na'Vi. They had a good performance here, but their work is not done yet. LGD ain't going home. Fnatic staying alive.
Era 11-1-8 at the end game. Somebody give this guy a massage, because he definitely carried this team. But we'll see what the analysts think as we send it back to James.
Thank you, LD and Bruno, and congratulations to Fnatic as well.
Thank you, too.
LD and Bruno, did I say? LD and Lumi, sorry. It's how many hours? It's about 10 hours now. We've got one more match to do. I'll see how many. I'll try and keep my mistakes to a minimum. It's difficult.
Yep.
So, Fnatic advance. They saved their tournament lifeline, and they're going to be moving on to play again later in the tournament. But of course, they guarantee top 8.
Great play by especially Trixie and Era. Like, Trixie was a menace to the LGD lineup early on, and then I think Era's control of Lifestealer with the track on their targets, how he just ran around them and, pounced at them and then went a big bit back and everything. It was really, really beautiful to watch.
Yeah, I have to say, it's like when you give those two heroes to Trixie and Era, they just seem to know the limitations of what you can do when you need to disengage from a fight and when you can re-engage if you have to, and it's very relevant to what you said. It was like there was a great fight on the bottom lane, and of course track just helps you immensely. He was already a race car, as we saw Melini, but his lifesteal at the end of the game with the help of Trixie was just phenomenal.
Yeah, I mean, they tried to pick some heroes to control him with the ensnare going through the rage as well as the meld physical damage burst, but it just wasn't enough. Arrow was too far ahead, and I think this is probably one of the heroes that needs to be banned out versus Fnatic. When Fnatic 2-0 Na'Vi, they had Era on Lifestealer both games, I'm pretty sure. And if you have any stats on that, I would love to hear them, Bruno.
Yes, about Era, actually, he's being really surprising right now, because if you come into this match and you look at his score with Lifestealer on TA3, you just see a 2-2, now a 3-2. So nothing too impressive. But if you look at Era on Lifestealer in general, this guy has a 70% win rate. And it's not that he just played the hero a couple times. He played it 61 and 26. That's his record. That's amazing. He's the best Lifestealer in the world. in terms of how much he wins. And to put it in perspective, globally, with if you add all the Lifestealers that play in pro players, Lifestealer has a 53% win rate, so 17% above the average. If that's not impressive, I don't know what it is.
That's pretty amazing, even for a hero that none of us really wanted to see in the game.
Yeah. I think Lifestealer has been a real entertaining factor, just because when you push the hero to its limits.
Oh yeah, definitely. In a game like this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, a few people can do this, you know?
I mean, it's when you have the ability to constantly fight and with the bounty, and I really like that Fly was playing something other than like a Crystal Maiden. I love Crystal Maiden, literally, but like having Fly on a Visage was really quite nice.
I have to say something, and it has to do with what you got, but I'm going to get there. First of all, Hani, the interview, he lied. I'm going to call it out. He lied.
What's with these players and lying in front of Casey?
He lied at the camera. He said, we're not going to pick Meepo. You're wrong. There was a Meepo there. You said Fly was playing Visage and you were happy about that. But, you know, I mean, if you're new to Dota 2, I have to make this introduction. You can actually download the replay and watch it on player perspective. Just go download this game and go to No-Tail's perspective. He was playing the Vayne, a hero that's not lacking on active abilities, and the two Visage Birds. He was microing everything. He was playing Meepo with the Vayne and 2 Birds all the time. He did everything. He was microing. I'm sorry I leveled this camera work, but I was just watching No-Tail because what he did there was amazing. Every single bird stun, every single whatever he was targeting, No-Tail.
We're actually going to go to an interview with Hani, who you mentioned, who lied, with Casey in just a moment. Did you have any questions for Casey, for Hani? Was that
I actually really want to.
Hopefully she can hear.
Yeah, hopefully she can hear. But if she can hear, I want her to ask it because No-Tail, this guy, they never said that. They never said No-Tail is going to be micro and Visage first. But I want to ask him about that. If No-Tail came with that, if he's part of the strategy with the team, or just to make it an easy question. What's with No-Tail and micro? That's the question.
All right. Well, we're going to go over to Casey now, who has an interview with Hani. Maybe she got the question from Bruno, but either way, happy to hear from Hani. And again, congratulations, Fnatic.
Well, honey, I hate to be the bearer of bad news. Congratulations, first of all. It's nice to be talking to you under these circumstances. The bad news is Bruno has just called you out, and now I am having to translate, and I want to make sure I get this right. But Bruno has said that you are, quote, a liar, and something about Michael.
No-Tail and micro. What is with No-Tail and
What is with No-Tail and Michael?
Michael?
Don't you mean Meepo?
Micro, M-I-C-R-O.
Micro?
He was micro. Visage Birds.
Micro. Does that make sense now?
Yeah, now.
Sorry, it's like a really bad game of telephone.
Yeah, that makes sense. Is he like referring to his micro skills? I have no idea. I can just guess right now. And is he calling me a liar because I'd say we don't play the hero? And yeah, I can only repeat myself. We probably won't see a Meepo in a BO1, maybe in a BO3, maybe.
Maybe.
But Orange never knows. It might be a BO1 tomorrow as well where we pick that hero.
I'm feeling so uncomfortable right now. I will do this. Bruno, I don't know if you can hear me right now, but can you stand up? Because I don't think people understand the level to which you have really gone all out with your outfit today.
I kind of have to go away. Okay, you're following me. I'm going to lose the mic for a second.
I got you.
Is he going for it?
Yeah, he's going.
Okay, I'm looking. Oh, I can see. Okay.
Really caught up here.
All right. Oh gosh, have I caused a problem?
No, it's fine. But you don't even want to know what underwear he's got.
We were talking about that. They said if you ask him to stand up and he's taking his pants off, that's going to be something different entirely. Thanks for bearing with us here. Hang on one second. I'm just trying to help you out by making him show his green pants.
Oh, I see.
You know how Bruno is with his...
That's quite hot.
Yeah. Well, yes. Let's see if he's done it. There it is. Hey, nice. Nice shoes, too. We're taking bets both backstage and online as to what the colors of the outfit are going to be tomorrow. We'll get to that in a second, but I do want to get back to chatting with the man of the hour, Hani. So I want to ask you, first off, such a different feel watching you guys this time versus this morning against Tong Fu. What was the big difference?
I think we got our draft right. We had to rethink about everything, what our strengths are, how we can build up the draft, and we finally actually got into the game, and our draft fit our play style, and we executed it, I think, perfectly that game.
Is it going to be difficult carrying this momentum into Friday now that you have a day off? What are you going to be doing to get ready for Orange?
I think we're just going to watch the games tomorrow for sure, but then just the usual, like, check the replays, maybe think of what they run. I mean, we haven't played them yet. We haven't bootcamped them either, so I think they are kind of unpredictable because they don't really run that one A strat and then it's the B plan, but no. So we have to actually go back into it and analyze their play style.
How important will teamwork be to getting another win?
It's teamwork, but most likely team spirit, actually. Like, everyone has to be very confident, and if one person is like, you can't really say into it because you play for so much money, but like that slight feeling of uncomfortable being, and then you can't have that. And I think especially today has shown us, like, we wanted to get into the money and we made it in a way, so we're very happy with that.
Well, congratulations. We're looking forward to seeing you again on Friday. We really appreciate it. I'll send it back to you, James.
Thank you, Casey. Yeah, so Fnatic